Hi guys, good morning. This is Dan. Welcome to Engelgeist. For those of you that are new, welcome. For those of you that are returning, welcome back. This is the collective daily forecast. This is actually for this new week from Sunday the 4th of April through Saturday the 10th of April. Each card will represent for 2 to 3 days of the week. It's the underpinning energy of what we need to look forward to, and we will build upon this daily as the week progresses. This is a general forecast, so take what you need and leave the rest, just so you know. And please look at the video description to see just sort of how I ask that you sort of keep, utilize my readings, and also how to support the channel. If you enjoy the reading, please hit the thumbs up button on YouTube and feel free to subscribe. You can watch the readings with us every day here. And I also, if you hit the notification bell, you will get notified when I go live on the channel. So let's get into this and see what's going on. Also, if you're looking at this on a date that doesn't fit on the dates of the video, that's okay. It may still have meaning for you, these cards. So you can still watch it, because I believe that readings can be timeless and can have meaning for us even later on. So let's see what's going on here. What do we need to know? What do the cards want us to know? Okay, so the first early part of the week, we have the Hanged Man. Piscean energy, definitely. Major Arcana. Some of us might feel a little bit stuck, might be waiting to make a decision or needing to make a decision about something, feeling as though we need to make a decision about something. The thing with the Hanged Man is that we're usually sort of going to have to be patient and be in the place that we are, even if it is uncomfortable, for a little while, until we sort of reach the illumination or the spiritual enlightenment, awareness, intelligence that we seek, right? It doesn't necessarily have to be temporary. It can take a little while with the Hanged Man, but if we're patient and we sort of kind of get in the present moment as to where we are, that illumination can come that much quicker, and then we can release ourselves and move forward, right? So some of you might feel as though you're not moving forward in some way, shape, or form, and that might be bothering you or driving you a little bit nuts. And that's okay. It's just, it is what it is. But to sort of, how do I want to say this? Like, be graceful about it, ease into it, stay in the moment as much as possible, being in the moment and being attentive or paying attention, being perceptive, being intuitive, listening to the signs and symbols around you, and kind of not resisting it is going to assist you in finding the answers that you need faster than if you're like sort of upset by it, in, aversion to it, resisting it. All of those sort of energies kind of almost keep us there and keep us preoccupied, and we're like sort of not able to see the message or get the message quickly enough. Does that make sense? This should be a decision around something that feels significant to those of us that are feeling this energy, because it's Major Arcana. It's going to feel like a big deal to us, right? Some of us might be quite uncomfortable about that. Like those of us that are more about taking action or getting things done, being swift. This isn't necessarily that energy. So be aware of that. Allow yourself to kind of hang there. Be in the moment. Feel the feelings. That would be the Piscean energy, right? Don't resist it or avoid it or try and gloss over it, because that's just going to not serve you in any way, shape, or form. The illumination will come. It always does, and it's usually impactful and in our best interest, right? So kind of keep that in mind as you sort of wade your way through whatever situation you might be feeling as though is stale, stifling you, or holding you back. Now, the midweek card is the Seven of Wands. Now, the Seven of Wands, to me, this is an interesting depiction of the Seven of Wands. This would be fire energy, right? Wands, that the element of desire and spirit. This is about taking action. This is also about taking a stance or being strong in what we believe to be true. She's sort of centered and meditating and kind of turning her head to the side. And she's putting herself in a white bubble of light, which is sort of protecting her from, say, maybe the opinions or the feelings of others, their perceptions, that sort of a thing. And that can be the Seven of Wands is sort of taking action to defend our beliefs, our reality, our perceptions of things, to take action and maybe no longer, to me, with her head tilted to that side, we may no longer be giving a situation our attention anymore. We may have to make a decision to sort of move away from something. That might be the Hanged Man for some of us, is we might feel stuck in a situation that's no longer serving us. It could be a relationship, it could be any number of things, but if it's something that sort of is maybe causing us frustration or not allowing us to grow in any way, shape, or form, we may have to find ourselves, I don't want to say fighting it, because I don't get a sense of fight in this card that is normal to the Seven of Wands. To me, the Seven of Wands is usually about defending one's position. To me, here, she feels more centered in who she is and understands where her position is. She's more peaceful in that centered defense. Does that make sense? Like, she doesn't need to defend anything. She knows who she is. And we've learned that through that patience of the Hanged Man, that significance of whatever that awareness is that we gain in the early part of the week, hopefully through our own patience and through our own like thorough, introspection. It sort of solidifies us to be able to take, like action or create self belief in a way that we're less susceptible to the opinions or the actions or the behaviors or situations that are going on around us that might want to try and undermine us or bother us. Some of you could feel some bother in the midweek too. On top of the bother of this Hanged Man, this week could feel a little frustrating for you, but put that bubble around you, get centered in that light, look for that illumination that is within you, and allow that to be your guide, not necessarily the opinions and the needs of the outside world, right? Does that make sense? So then the third card for the end of the week is the Ace of Wands. So new realizations come from this staying centered, right? From this idea of staying in the present moment. We have this clarity of mind, this clarity of spirit, this out of nowhere sort of realization, illumination, awareness that is going to propel us forward into the following week, probably empowered and inspired to take action towards whatever it is that we desire. Whatever was holding us up in the beginning of the week through that Hanged Man is gone by the end of the week. That's my feeling with this Ace of Wands. There's a liberation, there's an awareness that comes with this, an inspiration even, that should allow us to move on. It's interesting that she has this tear here, which makes me think about the emotionality of Pisces and that Hanged Man in the beginning of the week. Some of us might be, especially with that Seven of Wands energy, some of us might be transitioning through a situation that might be rather emotionally difficult or tough. And so allow yourself that peace or that compassion as you're moving through this, right? Because I see that in the woman hanging there in the Hanged Man, but also in the woman meditating in the Seven of Wands. It's like we're not being active and lashing out. We're sort of centering ourselves within ourselves. And that also we see here in this third eye of this Ace of Wands. The realization is all our own to be had. And the awareness will be profound, inspiring by week's end. And we might be able to release ourselves, emotionally from a situation that is no longer serving us. That's sort of my feeling. New desires may appear, new ideas, new opportunities of which way we want to head or where we want to interact, where we want to place our attentions and our energy may shift for us this week. And that's fine. That's completely fine. Allow that to take place. So let's look at the Lightworker Oracle card. This is the Dark Night of the Soul, card number 16, which also goes to that 7 energy, right? Again, I'm going to just show you this really quick because it's sort of interesting to me. Do you see this golden glow here at her, right around her third chakra, right underneath her heart? And she has a golden glow here. She's sort of shutting out the world and building a white ball of light around her to protect herself. Not that we're in harm's way, but we may need to do that. The dark night of the soul is usually this idea where we're going through a hard time and we're having a dark night of the soul, but it's bringing us closer to our spiritual enlightenment or awareness of who we are, what we're made of, what we're connected to, what's important to us, what serves us versus what doesn't. It usually comes with a fair amount of struggle, right? We see that in the Hanged Man. We even see that a little bit in the Seven of Wands, although her depiction is not very struggle oriented. It's more about going inward. It's not easy, but it is something that needs to be done. We will be free of this by the end of the week, or at least a new awareness comes to us through this Ace of Wands energy, but we might have to go through some sort of trial or tribulation this week. The dark night of the soul is not like a simple, easy walk. We might find ourselves challenged in ways by people, situations, things that were important to us or that we thought would be a certain way and they're not any longer. It could be our feelings about sort of ourselves or our lives or what we're doing in them that could be challenging us in ways that are really profound. And we need to sort of, not only do we need to be aware of them and feel them emotionally and sort of sit with them in the early part of the week, we need to sort of somewhat defend them or believe in them by the midweek so that we can be not free of them, but sort of transform them into this newer awareness, this maybe even embracing them through this Ace of Swords, right? And this Dark Night of the Soul. It's interesting that Seven of Wands is there, and the Dark Night of the Soul is card number 16, which is also a 7 energy. Sevens are usually about making a conscious choice. So I'm just going to read the little preamble to the Dark Night of the Soul and the invocation. So you are ready for a more real and radiant relationship with the divine. Your preconceived ideas and safe limiting beliefs may be sacrificed in order for this to happen. To the divine, these are only the clothing of your spirit. They are impediments to the absolute intimacy the divine seeks with you. You might feel vulnerable or uncertain as the divine goes about stripping away these barriers. This is when you enter the dark night of the soul. You understand there is nothing to rely upon but the divine, and you will find it difficult to trust at times. This night will end, however, and the sweetness of the divine dawning in your heart shall render all worthwhile. But for now, you are meant to feel exactly as you feel. You are not doing something wrong. You are moving closer to the divine. And that is that feel, you're supposed to feel exactly as you feel, is that Hanged Man. Like, you may feel like you're stuck in some feelings, but feel them, intuit your way through them, connect to them. They may be uncomfortable, but they will teach us something. The invocation for the Dark Night of the Soul card is, the Dark Night of the Soul is love calling me into light, calling me to let go of fear, to release my every doubt and say instead, I know that love is more real, more powerful than anything else. Always. So I accept love's power and grace, and I invite the healing presence of unconditional divine love into my heart now. Bring me the peace and spiritual blessing that I need to be freed from darkness and opened to the sweet light of love's truth. May all beings caught in darkness be assisted by unconditional love to see, feel, and know that the path of love is theirs forever. Through my own free will, so be it. So if those of us are feeling, a little bit challenged or even a lot bit challenged this week, roll with it. It's okay. It's all part of the process. We are going to be okay. Let's see here what the grounding stone is for the week. This is a principle we may want to ground in throughout this week. And here we go. It's just on a normal river stone, but it is the grounding in the principle of wisdom. There's something we are gaining, a wisdom that we see, that spiritual enlightenment in the Hanged Man. Around her eye there, that yellow glow, she becomes aware. Even though it may be emotionally uncomfortable at first, there's an awareness that we get. We also see that sort of wisdom in her seated stance, her turning away from the controversies that may surround her, or this world that is around her that might be challenging her during this sort of trying time. right? The wisdom also in the Ace of Wands is in that third eye right there. We need to ground in whatever it is that we might be experiencing or going through, or transforming our way through this week. As challenging as it may be for you, and it may be very challenging for some of you with this Dark Night of the Soul card, there's a wisdom that comes with this. There's an awareness, an intelligence, a deepening of who we are and what we are that is going to be quite powerful for us. So keep that in mind as you move forward through this week. I would say, do not resist things. Do not fight against things that might make us uncomfortable. It's almost like, to me, the Dark Night of the Soul card asks us to sort of just move through them, right? Or sit within them and allow them to pass through us, feel them, intuit them, accept them on some level, and then watch them transform into this sort of wisdom that we're going to gain. It will be profound and it will be beautiful, and we will feel liberated by the end of the week. That is your forecast for the week. I look forward to seeing you guys this week to see how this builds. Thank you so much for tuning in. Please feel free to hit the thumbs up button and subscribe to the channel if you do enjoy the forecasts. We will see you here later, and I will see you probably at a live. Have a great day. Bye-bye.